Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Azure Striker Gunvolt. This is $14.99, came out on the Steam store today, and yet you're probably wondering why there's two screens. I myself have been wondering that same thing. Now, it is a 3DS port, don't get me wrong, but when you port a game over to, the Steam platform, you'd think, maybe take advantage of what you have. Unfortunately, Azure Striker Gunvolt does not. And even though it's by the mind of Keiji Inafune, the Mega Man guru himself, that you probably have heard about Mighty Number 9 and everything along that line, maybe some Red Ash stuff, but I want to talk here about this game in particular. And first of all, you're probably wondering where the sound is and why we've got generic music in the background. Oh, that's because the audio is not recording. I can't get it to record no matter what I do. Again, whatever emulator they've used here, which I'm pretty positive they've used an emulation tool, it's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of problems with it, a lot of technical problems. But first, let's talk about the game itself. Now, you'll notice that we've got our hero here, and his main power is, well, of course, lightning, hence the Volt portion of the title. Now, the game plays as sort of like a Mega Man Zero type game. Basically, your main gun sort of marks enemies, and your main gun marks enemies, and then you can use your voltage power. Now, your voltage power only goes so far in terms of percentage. As you see there under the health bar, we've got 65-41%. When it goes to zero, it needs to recover, and so you won't be able to use any lightning powers, which is your main attack power. Now, your main gun does do attack portions, so that's good, but you're going to be relying on your lightning completely at this point. And to an extent, that works well. Now, the gameplay here is pretty simple. It's pretty Mega Man-like. You get through the level, you try to get through all the enemies in question without dying. You get to a boss, you defeat the boss, you probably get some kind of weapon or material, and you go from there, and you fight another boss, so on and so forth. Now, control-wise is where the game gets weird. You see, this is a 3DS port, and some of the controls have been bound a little bit strangely in terms of the way the game goes about things. The default confirm button is B, which I hate games that do that because it's always A, it's always the bottom button, and this game for some reason made it B. But not only that, it doesn't use the controller to its full potential. Dashing in particular is annoying for me because I usually make my dash button the left trigger. I like the ability just to hold it down, and the bumpers, again, never seem natural to me in a control scheme. But the thing is that there is no triggers that you can actually control in terms of the key bindings. It's either A, B, X, Y on a regular Xbox controller, and the left and right bumpers. So dashing for me is annoying in this game, and it really hurts its precision. But not only that, you'll notice in the right-hand corner there that that's what's supposed to be on the bottom touchscreen. You'll notice that the keys there for these powers that I have, F1 and F2, yeah, those are keyboard controls. I have no way of binding those keys to the controller. Again, halfway controller support, which is problematic because then you have to stop your actions and hit the keyboard at that point, or, as you see with my mouse pointer there, I can actually click on the screen. It's silly. It's stupid. I don't know why you would go about things like that. Now, other than that, the game plays pretty well in terms of the shooting and electricity and the enemies portion. The game does feel like very much a Mega Man Zero, and I'm saying Zero specifically. I'm talking about the old GBA games, where they play pretty differently from Mega Man in terms of like the core Mega Man series, but they feel at essence like what a Mega Man was. Run and shoot, use your powers, get yourself out of situations, so on and so forth. Now, the lightning, I will say, does sort of add this weird element to it, because not only is the lightning, it does have a percentage portion of it, it's your main attack, and it's really powerful. I've noticed enemies go down very quickly. Even bosses seem to go down really quickly when, you're able to use your powers without, getting interrupted. And it's a little bit strange because it really hurts the challenge of the game, surprisingly. I have not really run into real challenge problems in the game in the first several levels. Now, this is where it's really hard for me to do like critical commentary, because the game's core is good, but the port is so portable. Now, ports are a problem in themselves. I mean, the fact of the matter is you want to be able to give an experience that maybe someone else hasn't had because they didn't own a 3DS, for example, or a DS or whatever. I forget whether it's a 3DS or a DS in this case for I was going to say Mighty Number 9, but that's not the case. That's Inafune's next game that was delayed. Yeah, I'm a little sore about that. But you want to maximize your potential on a port, and the idea here is that you use your system wisely. Obviously, this system has not been used wisely at all. The fact is that you have 2 screens. This would have been great for art, an art upgrade. Bring it to, 720 or 1080p obviously, but, bring it up to a bit higher resolution, upgrade the assets. You don't have to do like a full upgrade of the game. That's the thing. I used the Astrosphere here to show off the power. That can be effective if it actually, hit the enemy. My other one is a healing portion, by the way, which I use a lot in the last battle that you see. You have 3 skills. They can recharge over time, as you see in the bottom left-hand corner there. Now, one of the big problems here is that, again, the game, when you look at the Steam store page of this game, there is absolutely no mention or any indication that the game is gonna look like this. I mean, it shows just the screens, the screen right in the middle there. It doesn't show anything else. And anybody who hasn't seen this game or known about it before would be misled. And I hate this at this point about some developers who do this. The fact of the matter is that this game is good. Its core is good, and that's why they brought it over. But why go through the effort of, porting it if you're going to do it halfway? I mean, I don't even want to say halfway, because they obviously didn't upgrade the assets. There are missing art portions from my understanding, and apparently a lot of people are having technical issues with the game. And the sad thing is again, great game at the core here. I remember playing this game on the 3DS, and when I saw it on the Steam store page, I'm like, oh hey, that game, I remember that game. And considering that I love the Mega Man series, I'm like, okay, cool. I would love to play it again. I do remember this part in particular being, problematic in terms of like, okay, it seems inconsistent in terms of the gravity, but okay, fine, sure, whatever. It bothers me that this is so hard for developers, and in particular, there's been a lot of cases where it's almost like they're emulating their own games, which I don't have a problem with necessarily. I mean, it is their game, and like I've heard the Mega Man Legacy Collection has had some issues in terms of people thinking it's just, it's an emulator at that point. I have less problems with that if they've made a great experience out of the game, because it is their game. But again, make the effort. Here, obviously, the effort has not been taken, and again, it's bad. It unfortunately looks bad in terms of the overall game, because again, it's got negative reviews on Steam now. It's a good game. I mean, the battle system is great. The bosses in particular do have a level of strategy to them, and really do sort of test your ability to sort of adapt on the fly to them. So I love that about this game. But on the flip side, it feels like you're playing half a game. Now, here's the boss monster, and the story portions of the game revolve around a corporation, the Sumaragi. Sorry about that. I obviously probably botched that, but that's okay. Which is, this organization that's controlling people and the way that people do things. Basically, you're trying to stop them. You rescue this person. It's what you would see a typical anime like plotline would be, almost, or a Mega Man plotline sort of combined together. But it's done rather well, and I do like the little touches that they've added to it. There is Japanese voice acting in this game, in terms of like some of the screaming and things like that, which is, I appreciate that. I do like the fact that they stuck with that at this point. Now, I didn't realize what I was doing in this first part of the fight, in terms of that I could use my electricity to sort of knock those drills around, which, is a good thing at this point. And the fact of the matter is that there is strategy in terms of the different ways that you can go at a boss. Now, unlike Mega Man, you don't get really specific weapons per the boss. You get sort of upgrades for your gun or a little bit changes to your gun, but they really don't affect gameplay that much. You still need the target, and you're still going to use your lightning more than anything else. The skills on the right-hand side you sort of gain as you level up. As you notice, I'm level 10, so there is sort of RPG elements, sort of, kinda, not really. It really, again, feels very much like the Mega Man Zero type of games when all is said and done. And I like the art style. I really like the character design and the art style. It does feel, again, Mega Man Zero-esque. And again, I'm going to keep on going back to that because it feels of that style and of that sort of era of Mega Man, where, Mega Man had sort of, gone a little bit back into people's minds. So it was able to do a little bit more with it, and it did pretty well with it, I think. Now, if you're looking for a core game that feels Mega Man but a little bit different, Azure Striker Gunvolt is right for you. Would I recommend it on the PC? Hell no. I would recommend picking up a 3DS and finding a copy at your local store or on Amazon and things like that, because the game was made for that. It's obvious that they make the effort here to update it to the new day, and unfortunately that is going to cost them in the end. Again, I would be very surprised if this game does well at all on PC, which is a shame because it's going to be sort of that lasting image of, oh, well, nobody wants a Mega Man game. Well, of course they do. They want a Mega Man game done right, and this is not the case with the way they did the port. Alright, this is Dragnix signing out. I just wanted to get that information out there, you guys. I wanted to show you exactly what was going on. I'll probably put some music in the background on this because, it has to be done. I will see you all later. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left-hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left-hand side as well. And if you've missed my last video, take a look at the right-hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.